And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the lower semifinals of the WardiTV Monday, number 41. We had a very long, very intense upper semis, and now we're here to indulge in the lower semifinals in our PvZ to determine who will face off against Clem in the grand finals. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, here of Incorporeal, we have our South Green Protoss player. We have the Red Protoss representing Virtus Pro. It is Classic. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Green Zerg player. We have the Blue Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. Here we go, and if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we jump into our best of 3 ZVP. Here we go. Again, we do have our standard opener so far. Coming into this, of course, it was like 2 hours ago at this point. But Solar, we showcased him against Skillus earlier, and Solar was hyper aggressive. We saw a lot of all-ins. We saw a lot of timing attacks out of Solar, designed to break Skillus. And that's what we expect coming into his series against Classic as well. Classic, he has his own unique style. He's, I guess, in a way, similar to Estrella. Unlike most of the other Protoss players out there, Classic, he is willing to go in and rush into Skytoss in the mid game. If he's able to see an opening where there's like a lull in a kind of intense dynamic, if he's able to get a stir base up and running uncontested, work towards a fourth base, then bam, he'll throw it in a fleet peak in the Stargate and work towards Skytoss. He's willing to do this against Terran and against Zerg alike. And you could argue that Classic has some of the best late game PvZ in the world. We saw that against Cyril at DreamHack Dallas, of course. And again, it's just a style that he has been known for a couple of years in PvZ and in PvT as well. Like it's what he does. So this could be a long one. I say this could be a long one just because I expect Classic to try to play for the late game, and I expect Solar to try to kill him early. Like I expect that dynamic. Solar, he's very fond of all-ins in this matchup. And we'll see if that trend continues. Classic is a wild card. Kind of. I mean, I would say that Hero is more chaotic. Hero is more of a chaotic player. Classic is more of a standard player. Comparing the two of them, I should say. Here we go. So far against Stargates into Oracle into a third base. We expect a standard opener here out of Classic. Does it into the middle line, gets one drone. Gets one so far, not bad. Here pulls away. Now, when it comes to the aggressive builds and when it comes to the all-ins that we've seen from Solar, it's all been off of 3 bases. It's typically been off of a 3-base economy, 3-base setup. That's what we're looking for. As a Classic does poke in. Here threatens a shade. Classic takes a third. And he doesn't find any damage yet, making his way towards the mineral line. Shading into the natural. At the same time, Solar does hit the third, but it's only 3 Zerglings. And none to really threaten. And Classic, he backs off. Does retreat. And is going into a much faster Twilight Council. Okay, now, we did see a lot of early Twilight Council into Blink from the side of Skillus earlier. Here, Forge. Forge on the way. Are we going into Blink or are we going to Charge? Curious. Our eyes here are going to be on Classic. I think it's just going to be Blink and +1. But Charge is still viable. Oracle's dead damage to the natural. Not bad at 1, 2, 3, 4 drone kills. Not bad at all. 4 workers go down. Yep, Blink is on the way. Blink into +1. Standard follow-up. Throws down extra gateways. So again, nothing crazy here out of the classic. Meanwhile, ooh, Solar, do you see that? I see, no Roach One yet, no Evo Chamber yet. He does go Lair first. This looks like Lair potentially into Evo Chamber. Yep, into Evo Chamber. Because this chamber is so delayed, this looks more like +1 melee, sorry, +1 range, not +1 melee. Melee is typically researched earlier for Ling Hydra. If we are rushing into range, then this can head into a Hydra-based all-in, or we could go into a 4th base and go into Hydra, then rush into Lurker. Assuming this is range. So assuming that range is going to be the upgrade. You know, classic going and opening up Blink into Storm, not into Colossus. And yeah, range on the way. So as we mentioned, like if it was an early Eva chamber, then it would scream melee, but because it's later, it screams range. So this is a safety Roach Horn, and we're expecting prioritization of Hydras. And then Solar has to make a choice. Either he goes for a 3-base Hydra all-in, or he takes up, gets a 4th base, drones the 4th, and works towards Lurkers. So both are still viable options here from Solar. Again, the Roach one is just for safety. Like, we have no intention of actually making any Roaches. But now Solar does drone up his 3rd. Still waiting to see what his 4th looks like. Oracles are poking in. Now, if we do see Solar throw down the Infestation Pit, that tells us, of course, he's taking towards Lurkers. If Classic sees the pit, then he's going to need Sky Toss. But I'm getting ahead of myself. We're droning up to 71. And we are, okay, we're squeezing out a couple of drones. Squeezing out a couple of workers. Hydras are amassing. War speed is on the way. We're expecting Infestation Pit. Link's going to be zoned back. Hydra's still building up. That's going to be a lot of Hydras here for Solar. He's cutting workers. 3.5 bases. He's choosing not to saturate his 4th. Taking gases. Does take a gas geyser. Do we start droning? Before then, Classic is being active. Storm is done. He's getting a 4th base himself. Classic also building up. Solar still, he did take a gas. He's not droning. Yeah, he's not droning. Not droning up, so just pure Ling Hydra. So Solar, he's going for an all-in. He's going for a 3-base all-in, or technically a 3.5 base all-in, pure Ling Hydra, all off of Lair Tech. Coming in for the surround. Does come in. Nice storm here on the Hydras. Lings that collapsed in, and we have a storm. No more storms. And Stalkers are going down. More reinforcements on the way. It's still quite close here. But I believe Solar should have enough. Yeah, he should have enough. Yeah, Classic caught out in the open. Remember, Solar, he's all in. Collapses on the army. He wanted to take a fight. And Classic, he'll caught with his pants down. If Solar was taking, different story. But we just send it. We just send it. And again, these Hydra all-ins are just what Solar's very fond of. That's why we brought it up at the start of the game. Now backing off, going for a massive Dune drop. And Solar commits. From here, he's going to be committing. Now, Classic, he did lose his army, which means that this follow-up defense is going to be more difficult for Classic. But he's not out of this. If he can survive, if he can hold and make it into Sky Toss, as we're seeing here, Stargate into Fleet Beacon, then Classic can snowball out of control. Because again, Solar's not taking. He's not taking, he's not droning. The longer this goes on, the worse it is for Solar. Solar, he has to end the game with this. Because here comes Sky Toss. I did mention how Classic, like, as soon as he sees that, like, we're getting into a longer game, like, he's one to rush into Sky Toss. Can he get there? Different question. Here comes that Doom Drop. Doom Drop into the main. And just nice concave. Drop comes in, nothing in position. Instead, charges in the main base of Solar. There's a recall back home. Does recall. Storms are ready. Yeah, storms are ready, and this is not getting enough damage done here. Storm on the Hydras. Dropping back over towards the 4th. Zelsa at least distracting, but the Prism goes down. Tempest now in production. Tempest are on the way. Takes down almost a Medevac. Dropper Lord. Takes down the Dropper Lord. And this is looking a little bit worse here for Solar. As we mentioned, like, again, Solar, no Hive, no Lurkers, no Gases, no Drones. Like, he's been all in for the past, like, almost 5 minutes at this point. He has to end the game here and now. Brutal Storms. Rotates over. Army's a little bit out of position. Storms are decent. High Templar being targeted down. Another decent Storm. Running out of Hydras. And Classic holds. Yeah, Classic, he does hold. May have lost the first fight, but he shuts down these Hydras. And again, Solar, he has no endgame here. He has no endgame. He has no follow-up. GG gets called. The all-in fails at Classic. He will take the game. He will take a lead in the series. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Classic does take a lead against Solar. His all-in, unfortunately, took a little bit too long to really get going. I want to say I favored Solar initially because he caught out the main army, right? He got a surround, he cleaned up the main army of Classic, which was a great start. But unfortunately, the Doom Drop wasn't worth it. The Doom Drop didn't get anything. He killed a gateway. He killed one gateway, and all that the Doom Drop really did was, one, throw away a bunch of supply, but also it delayed the main push towards the third. So it was a big risk. It was a big chance there for Solar. Wasn't worth it in the end. Shout out to Classic for going for the counter Prism Harass to delay the move out, to delay reinforcements. That was keeping Solar busy. As we tried to emphasize, the longer the game went on, the better it was for Classic, just because Solar was completely all in. Was completely all in, had no other kind of way out of that. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're now getting into game number 2. We're going to be loading into Persephone. And this is kind of like the dynamic that we expect here, is for Solar to go for these all-ins, and for Classic to either scout and shut it down, or get caught off guard. Persephone is going to be an interesting one. Persephone does have a short rush distance by air, so technically Muta play is viable here. So we could see Solar try to go Muta on Persephone, but it's always risky. It's always a big risk trying to go into Muta play. We'll see. But now spawning in the top left-hand corner of Persephone, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Virtus Pro. It is Classic. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Zerg player. We have the South Korean Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. Here we go. Solar does move out to expand. Now we're setting up. Nothing crazy in the early game. No crazy like Forge, no crazy gas first or pool first. Just hatch gas pool here out of our Zerg player. Likewise, gate expand out of Classic. Now again, when it comes to Persephone, it's, I want to say, kind of similar to Ultralove in the sense that it's a map of extremes. We have seen a lot of all-ins on Persephone to break a player early on just because of the rush distance by ground and the direct rush distance as well. At the same time though, because of the base layouts, because the bases are so close to each other initially, expanding, establishing yourself on 3-4 bases, and more importantly, cutting the map in half is a lot more common here. So we actually have seen quite a little late game on Persephone, where you just cut the map in half, you take the gold base, and you slow the game down. In saying that though, Solar is really one to do that. I should also emphasize why we assumed that Solar would go for an all-in at the start of the game, at the start of game 1, is because he is not very fond of late game ZVP. It's something that he's not fond of. He's been very vocal about it as well. So all-ins are more expected. I mean, there are very few that enjoy late game ZVP. Or just late game versus Protoss in general. I mean, hey, look at Clem last series, right? I mean, true. Clem knows, baby, Clem knows. Maybe Solar and Clem, they can bond together about it. Maybe they Aye. This map has 95% win rate for Solar according to the last 7 matches. Yes, if you've been watching the matches, the reason why we brought up Muta play is because Solar, he has gone into Mutas quite a bit on this map, and he has gone for a lot of all-ins on this map as well. That's why those were the 2 things that we brought up. as we do our initial Stargate opener here out of Classic. Stargate to Oracle. And again, we'll keep an eye on Solar. The first big thing that we're going to be looking for here is the tech of choice. If you recall, last game he went for a faster lair. He went for a lair before anything else. We'll see if he goes lair first again, or if he goes for an earlier Evo chamber into plus on melee. Into an earlier aggressive style. We'll see if he skips his Roach Warren. We'll see if he goes into a Bailey Nest. Eyes are on Solar. Players are building up. As Lings, they do hit the third base. Once again, faster Twilight Council here out of Classic. Last game, this just led into Blink, into a later Forge, to a delayed Forge instead, and delayed upgrades. So this is similar to what we saw last game. It's also just right under the Overlord. The Overlord does see the Twilight Council. And does the Overlord see the Forge? He does. Wow. Value Overlord. Sees everything. And Classic doesn't care. So this is the same follow that we saw last game out of Classic. Expand, Twilight Council, Forge. Once again, fast lair. So this is almost a repeat of what happened last game. The same build out of Classic, same build out of Solar. So it does rush into the earlier lair. Lings, they will hit the pylon. They won't quite get it. There's that Eva Chamber. So once again, just like last game, we spoke about how because the Eva Chamber is delayed here, this does mean that this most likely is going to be +1 range in towards Hydras, into a Hydra heavy style. Now, this doesn't mean that this has to be another 3 base or 3.5 base Ling Hydra all in like we saw in the last game. Just like last time, there was the option at one point that Solar could have droned up his 4th and could have gone for an Infestation Pit and teched up into Hive. So Solar still has that option available to him. The other thing this could be, ooh, he skipped the Roach Warren, is +1 range is on the way. Okay, never mind. I was gonna say that he could actually go into melee here and go for a Spire and go into Muta play. But this time he does cut some corners. There's a Hydrogen, so no Spire. So he's being a little bit more efficient here. He's cutting a little bit more corners because he does skip the Roach Warren. So preserving his resources, going straight Ling Hydra. I should also say that the rush distance by ground on this map is, again, shorter, more direct, so if he were to go for the same build and the same all-in, it should hit harder here. Should hit harder on Persephone. Storm is on the way. Unlike on Incorporeal, your third base doesn't have that high ground advantage. Here, it's on the low ground. You can also wedge yourself in between the bases a lot easier here on Persephone. Like, the area here between the 3rd, 4th, and natural is a little more accessible. And there it is, Spire. Ah, ¿por qué no los dos? So we assumed it was either going to be a Hydra all-in or Mutas. It's kind of both. So it's Hydras into Spire into Mutas. So cheeky move here by Solar. Now, if this goes unscattered, Mutas, they can just wreak havoc. They can just get out of hand and out of control real fast and real quick. We'll see if Classic can confirm. He's fanning out with the Oracles. Oracle towards the main, Oracle towards the 3rd. Ooh, based on this rally, will he see? Oh, never mind. Hydra's doing intercept. Very nice interception here by Solar. He denies the scout. He keeps his tech hidden. Meanwhile, Stasis Trap into the main. Second Stargate's on the way. Robo as well. Interesting tech path here out of Classic. Setting up defensively. And Solar's droning. Okay, Solar, he's droning up. He's taking gases. Infestation is on the way, taking him into Hive. Classic, he did see the pit. He is aware. Ooh, we went. Never mind. We cancel. Oh, fake out. I like this. So basically, Solar, he fakes out Hive. He fakes out that he's going to be macroing up. As a result, bam, Fleet Beacon. Fleet Beacon's on the way. Classic working towards Sky Toss. The goal here for Solar is to break Classic before Sky Toss really kicks in. So Solar's all in. Solar's all in. Also, fun fact, made the Spire, no mutas. 0 mutas here, it's purely Ling Hydra. At this point, I almost wish that he maybe should have let the Spire be scattered if we were just going for a Ling Hydra all in. Nice catch on one High Templar. Storm's popping off, does get the surround. Oh yeah, does surround, no more storms. 0 storms remaining, and Solar, he is breaking through. Yeah, claps on the army, gets a full surround. And Solar, he's done it. Solar, he has done it. Breaks through the bases. Again, late infestation pits. Classic, he got baited. Believed it was going to lead into a longer game. And we saw just the brutal surround here as well. Like, you see just how much more accessible Persephone is compared to Incorporeal. And with that, Solar does break through. Does break through. Takes down the expansion. Classic, yes, he does survive, but he's down to 67 workers. He's also full mineral line. That's the mineral line. Now we have muta production. 16 mutas on the way. And at this point, Solar can just do whatever he wants. He can either remax on Hydras and go for another push, or remax on Mass Muta, go for that instead. Baneliness now on the way. Solar enjoying his economy. And now moving out. Let's go. Here we go. And again, we almost had a repeat of the last game, but again, just mind games out of Solar. Moves into the main. Again, there's limited anti-air, and now we have some Phoenix production, but it's too little too late. Too little too late at this point. Takes out all the workers. More reinforces towards the third. Surrounds the High Templar. Catching out more. Breaks the expansion. Zealous, they do get across the map and they're getting some damage done, which is nice and all, but I mean, that's just a swarm. Like, the swarm has arrived. Breaks the expansion, pushes into the natural, and we are looking to force the ace match. We're bringing it all the way to game 3. All the way back. GG gets caught, and Solar, he will tie things up. We have our ace match. GG. Yo, you think Solar's gonna macro? Nah. GG, well played. Does overwhelm, does break through. And once again, I'm most interested in what the third map is going to be. As we mentioned before, you saw just how much more accessible, how much more open Persephone is compared to Incorporeal, where we did have Lings and Hydras coming in from both angles, getting a surround on the main army at that 4th base as well. Like Classic, he just could not pull off, could not muster defense there. Was forced to storm early, forced to storm prematurely, and GG. GG, well played. Did lose everything there at the 4th. And oh, okay. Next map is going to be on Ultra Love. Interesting. Now, when it comes to Ultra Love, we have seen a lot of German taxis. We've seen a lot of German taxis out of Solar to go into Roach-based all-ins instead. But we have seen him be still quite... I mean, in general, he's just really fond of Hydra-based all-ins as well. So we'll see what he goes for this time. We don't expect to see mutas again. Like, mutas is typically something you do once in a series. It wasn't really too much of a factor in that game either. But we'll see. We'll see how Solo will approach this as we load into Ultra Love. Let's go. Let us go. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the Blue Protoss representing Team Virtus Pro. Being forced into the ace match, it is a Classic. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the Red Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. Here we go. And welcome on to Ultra Love. Ultra Love has a shorter rush assist by ground. Aggression is favored. That's why we have seen a lot of German taxis on Ultra Love. Likewise, does have some more defensive tendencies here. We spoke about this during the Estrella versus Clem series, where there are a lot of choke points, there are a lot of ramps, there are a lot of areas where you can make a stand and slow the game down. What I mean by that, typically, if the players get up to 4 bases, they can force the late game, and they can slow the game down and cut the map in half. If they can get there, if they can get to that, or if the Protoss, I should say, can get to that 4 base game state. Otherwise, similarly to Incorporeal, this area in between the bases is very accessible and very vulnerable. We have seen a lot of Ling Hydra all-ins or German taxis hit right here in between the 3rd, the 4th, and the natural, and kind of pick and choose where to strike depending on where the Protoss is the weakest, right? Wherever there's less shield batteries, less cannons, less of an army in position, you can just kind of strike whichever the base and break them then and there. Meanwhile, interesting expansion. So Solar Force Safety on Natural does expand towards Classic. This could be the beginning of something like a Roach all-in and something like an early push, as you can very quickly start spreading creep across the map. You can just use this as a launch pad to spread creep here towards the center and towards what would be 3rd base of your opponent. Like again, the rush distance here from 1/3 to the other is just so short. it's just so short here on Ultra Love. Almost like one screen away. So we'll see how Solar makes use of this base. Assuming the Classic takes this 3rd, ideally he would expand away from this 3rd base of Solar and expand here on the right hand side instead. But we'll see. But now, Stargate open out of Classic. Does go for Stargate. In towards Oracles. Solar takes his 3rd. But now we're joining up. Joining up with saturating. The last game also kind of sets a premise as well. Remember, like Solar, he faked that he was macroing. Like he did fake his tech, he did fake his infestation pits. He just canceled and just doubled down on Ling Hydra. So Classic has to be wary as to what he even sees. At least in the mid game. So targeting 1 or 2 Zerglings. More Lings are on the way. As Classic has to be careful here with these Adepts. If he leads them out, then his 3rd base is going to be exposed. Speaking of, nice catch here from Solar. Takes down 1. Takes down 1 Adept. Oracle does hit the 3rd. Gets 1, gets 2 drones. Not bad. Lings, they do hit the 3rd base. Likewise, they get a surround on the Adept as well. Not bad. Adept does go down. But I believe the 2nd Oracle, yeah, does arrive in time. So from here, Classic, he does hold. Will not lose another Adept. Thankfully for Classic. Once again, early Twilight Council. This so far does look like the same build. It looks like the same build so far. Technically, I want to say that Classic has the option to go into Glaive Adepts. Like, Glaives are very much so a viable option here. There's no Forge yet. Oh, we're just going for the all-in. Okay. We're used to seeing a German taxi. We're just going for a Ling Queen walker across the map. Solar cuts workers here at 35, and he will send everything across. It's all or nothing for Solar. Lings, they do bust into the main. They do force some of the boys to be pulled. Classic's attention is being spread. As probes are going down. We spoke earlier about how the creep here was important from this base, and again, we're just spreading creep, just rallying even faster across. 3rd base is going to be broken. And he does force a cancel. Massive pickoff here. Yeah, again, Classic, the door was open, throwing down more shield batteries. Is going into Glaives as we expected, but alas, he will not have an expansion. And now Solar drones. Now Solar, he's walking back home. He got what he wanted. Now it's time to drone up. Getting punished though. He's getting punished. Bleeds out 3 drones. Now, what's important here, on the one hand, Solar isn't a... Oh, he sees the Adepts. Wow, he sees the Adepts. I was going to say, Solar, he's in a better position, but he doesn't have a Roach Warren. But he just saw the Warp In. He saw the Warp In, he saw all the Adepts. That was, I want to say, a bit of a misplay there from Classic, because now we have a Roach Warren on the way. Now Solar knows. Now Solar, he's aware of the Glaives. Otherwise, this would have been a surprise. It would have been a surprise here. Solo, we'll see if he can get ready in time. We'll see if he can prepare. Classic is moving out. The Roach Warren just now finishing. Roach production has begun. We have 5 queens here at the third. And we'll see if Classic can find a way in. Trying to shade past. Just hold the queen. And queen does survive. Clutch transfuse. Lings, they collapse on the army. Nice position here with the oracles. Yeah, queen goes down. Oracles defend. This is a decent setup here, but where are the kills? He needs drones. Shades at the main. Lings once again in position. Lings, they should evaporate. Yeah, Lings are going down. Roaches, that's, I mean, there are so many of them. They've been massing up. Nice target firing here by Classic. Does focus on 8 more drones. And can he get more? Making his way towards the third. Ooh, does wall off with the Evo chamber. Just barely. Yeah, shading back into the main. And he's done it. Yeah, Classic, he has done it. He has pulled Solar apart. Solar, he did have the wherewithal to get into Roach production. He had Roaches, but not in time. Or not in position, I should say. 21 drone kills. And that is critical damage. With that, Classic takes the lead. Classic, he's now has a third base. Does take a worker lead. Solar's all in. Solar, he's completely all in. And Classic, can he survive this? Oh, the queens. The creep is so insane from earlier. Just from one all into the other. Queens are pushing forward. Roaches have arrived. And can Classic make a stand? Yeah, there's no saving the third. The third is going to go down. Same time, Classic shading into the main. Nice positioning. Does get more drone kills. That's going to be, what, 5, 6 more drones going down. Ay, ay, ay. 7 more drones. And Solar, he's backing up. Solar, he's droning. You can see here the production tab. He's trying to drone up. He's trying to macro out of this. There's forced to be 5 oracles here for Classic. That's insane. He wants the Ravagers. Gets 1. Gets 2. Takes down the active tumors. And again, Solar's droning. He's trying to saturate, trying to get back into this game. Classic, he does sit by. The lack of Verba, the lack of immortal production is concerning here. Like, it's going to be a very heavy Roach army. Classic relying on gateway units instead. Let up, say sit by. Classic does now expand. With 5 oracles, he can go for the Spore, and he will. Yeah, the Spore is going to go down. Takes out the Spore, denies any kind of mining here at the third. Clips are ready. Depths aren't ready. From here, he shades past. Lings are keeping up. Depths is zoned away. Now, I'm not entirely convinced here by the army that Classic's working on, just because he's working on Mass Blink Stalker +1 and Storm, no Immortals. I'm not convinced by the backwind of his army against Mass Ling Roach Ravager. We'll see. See if you can pull this off. That's a lot of queens. Queens are pushing forward. Solo moving in. He's stopped workers. He's stopped production. Making purely roaches. He's no longer droning. And he's also staying on 3 bases. No fourth. No fourth. So here comes the third all-in from Solar. Here's let's go. 53 drones. Mass Ling Roach Ravager. It's got a couple of queens. Storms do connect. But remember, this is a beefy army. It's very robust. He can tank some storms. Storms have been solid. But the army is still very robust. Oh god, again, the storms. Storms are good. The files also connect. Storms are good, but we need more. Classic needs more of those storms. It's just such a sturdy army. Another storm connects. Slowly just whittling away at the Rich Ravager. Oracles, they hit the third. Once again, they shut down the Spore. Storm pops off. Queens, they race back home. Nice distraction. Catching a Queen. That means no more transfuse. And again, the longer this game goes on, the better it is for Classic. Classic, he has a better economy. He's soon going to have the better upgrades. He's going to have +2 against 0-0 from Solar. And I think he's done it at this point. Classic, he has survived. He has weathered the storm. Goes back in, takes down the Ravagers. Queen's trying to keep up. They just now head over. And yeah, the army just crumbles. The Mass Stalker does overwhelm. Again, +2 about to kick in. And Sully has nothing left. GG gets called, and Classic, he will overwhelm. He will break the army. He will break the all-in, and Classic will advance on to the grand finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, Classic, he was able to overwhelm. Some cheeky all-ins here from Solar in all 3 games. Classic, he did misread game 2, if you recall, where Classic, he saw... Oh. Where, if you recall, Classic, he did scout the tech. He saw the infestation pit, but it was a fake pit. It was cancelled afterwards, and Solar just committed into a Ling Hydra all-in, which did catch Classic off guard. He was surrounded. He was trying to take up a Sky Toss at the time, so it was a little bit too greedy. Here in game number 3, we saw an earlier all-in. We saw an earlier Ling Hydra all-in, which did kill the third, but fortunately for Classic, he was already going into Glaive Adepts. Like, he already had Glaive Adepts on the way. That was a way to recover, to bounce back in the game. Solar did scout the Glaives. True, he saw it ahead of time. He had roached ahead of time, but he was out of position. Like, he had the tools to defend, but Solar, he was out of position. He was torn apart. He lost, what was it, 21 drones? Like, 21 plus workers across the map went down to the Glaive Adepts. So Solar, he failed to keep up with the Adepts, and then Classic bounced back in the game. GG. GG, well played. He did pull his way back into that game. With that, it does claim it, and that leads us into the grand finals here. Leads us into our best of 5 between Classic and Clem. Let's go. Getting ready for our best of 5.